What if your entire reality is based on an illusion? Your entire experience reduced to antiquated lines of code, a hidden program of superstition running beneath our very lives to keep you subdued, docile, and distracted. Let me tell you why you're here. You're here because you know something. What you know, you can't explain, but you feel it. You felt it your entire life, that there's something wrong with the world. You don't know what it is, but it's there, like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. It is this feeling that has brought you to me. You know what I'm talking about? The Matrix is everywhere. It's all around us, even now in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work or when you go to church or when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth, that you are a slave. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born inside a prison that you cannot smell, taste, or touch. A prison for your mind. Unfortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself. This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill and the story ends. You wake in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill and you stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more. Welcome to Wonderland. In the next 10 minutes, we'll show you how superstition operates as the hidden code of our social matrix, how it imprints itself on your mind, and how real-world agents arise to defend it, and how institutions and algorithms mechanize its power. We'll move through 4 domains: religion, nationalism, consumerism, and even self-help dogma. And in each, we'll trace the code, the unwritten rules and rituals you follow without question, the internal effects, the fear, shame, and cognitive distortions that kick in the moment you dissent, and the true agents and enforcers, the people and systems who have surrendered fully to that code and exist solely to keep you in line. By the end, you'll know not just how the Matrix traps you, but who's running it and how we reclaim our collective agency. Let's start with defining the simulation. To navigate this matrix, we first need to define our terms. Here, superstition isn't about candles or crystals. It's the hidden code, the doctrines, rituals, and taboos that silently shape every thought and action. When you dare to question it, you feel the code's pull in your own mind, and automatic responses baked into your psyche: fear, doubt, shame, and the cognitive distortions and safety rituals that snap you back in line. These are the internal effects of the code. But it doesn't stop there. That same code that you're fighting internally, so is everyone else who hasn't managed to escape this simulation. That's why many times when you're ready to question it or even reject it, people tend to show up at the right time with either an encouraging message or an ominous warning to get you back in line. That's their code responding to the glitch in yours. In cognitive behavioral therapy, we call those deep, unquestioned beliefs our schemas. Those schemas are the very line of code we rarely pause to inspect, and they're the source of this entire illusion. And then there are the true agents and enforcers, people who fully surrendered to the system, from clergy and pundits to educators and executives, alongside the institutional and algorithmic machines that silence dissent and reward conformity. Now we turn to religious dogma, our first domain. At its core are the invisible rules of salvation and sin. Original sin as the virtue of the soul, the sacraments as mandatory routines, priestly intercession as the only escape hatch. These doctrines and rituals are the lines of code that tell you what's real and what's blasphemy. The moment you question eternal judgment or divine authority, you feel the code fight back inside your mind. That guilt kicks in: I'm unredeemable, or the shame, I'm a moral failure, and even existential anxiety: what will happen after I die? I'll perish forever. In terms of cognitive behavioral therapy, these are schema-driven distortions, all or nothing thinking that brands you as either saint or sinner. Then you encounter the human enforcers who fully internalize this code. Clergy and church elders preaching condemnation, doctrinal councils threatening excommunication, lay networks policing attendance and confession. Each sermon or pastoral letter is an agent Smith hunting down dissent in the congregation. To neutralize that anxiety, you perform the mandated rituals: prayer, fasting, confession. These are safety behaviors that temporarily reboot your faith and restore the illusion of purity. And if you probe deeper, maybe publishing a critique or refusing communion, the pushback escalates. You get private reproof, public shaming, or even outright expulsion from the community, all calibrated to reboot the system and keep the code unchallenged. Now we enter nationalism and cultural rituals, our second domain. At its heart are the unwritten mandates of national identity, the sanctity of the flag and the anthem, the myth of exceptionalism, schoolroom pledges, military parades, holiday pageants. These repetitive ceremonies are the loops of code that define who belongs and who is other. The moment you question the narrative, wondering if your country's history is as pure as it's presented, you feel the code tighten inside your mind. You feel that pride and superiority. My nation is the best and can do no wrong. God bless America and no one else. And then conversely, guilt or shame. Am I a traitor? Am I not patriotic enough? In terms of cognitive behavioral therapy, these manifest as mind reading. Everyone must despise me for doubting. And even personalization, where any criticism of my country is perceived as an attack of my worth. Then the real-world agent Smiths appear. Journalists and pundits framing dissent as betrayal. Politicians rallying us versus them rhetoric. Civic organizations demanding loyalty oaths. These are individuals who fully embrace the nationalist code and dedicate themselves to policing any hint of dissent. To soothe that internal turmoil, you engage in sanctioned displays, posting a flag emoji on social media, attending a local parade, purchasing patriotic merchandise, rituals designed to quell doubt and signal conformity. Push past the permitted boundaries, writing an op-ed that questions the national narrative, joining protest movements, and the enforcers ratchet up the response. Smear campaigns, professional blacklisting, or legal intimidation. Each move is calibrated to reboot the system's loyalty check and keep the code intact. Now, we turn to consumerism and brand fetishism, our third domain. At its heart lies the axiom, your identity equals your possessions. The latest smartphones, designer labels, cultivated lifestyle purchases, all lines of code instructing you who you are and what you must desire. The moment you hesitate on a purchase, the code kicks in. A surge of fear of missing out. If I don't upgrade, I'm left behind. And self-doubt. I'm not enough. In cognitive behavioral therapy, we call this catastrophizing. Missing that sale is catastrophic, and labeling, I'm a failure for not owning this. Then the real-world agent Smiths appear. Marketing executives scripting scarcity narratives, brand ambassadors preaching loyalty, influencers posting curated lives as gospel. They fully internalize the consumption code and exist to drive your compliance. Behind them, retail algorithms detect your hesitations and flood your feeds with targeted ads and flash sale alerts. Loyalty programs gate rewards behind spending thresholds. Every digital nudge is calibrated to keep you buying. To silence the inner anxiety, you engage in impulse shopping, midnight cart checkouts, unboxing rituals on social media. These are temporary resets that restore your sense of belonging. But resist. Skip the pre-order, delete the app, and the system intensifies the assault. Push notifications multiply. Exclusive invites vanish. Peer reactions turn cold. Each move is engineered to reboot your compliance and keep the consumer code unchallenged. And finally, we arrive at self-help dogma, our fourth domain. At its core lies the creed of perpetual self-optimization, daily affirmations, vision boards, manifestation mantras, and morning routines. Each guru or coach publishes lines of code you must integrate. You must visualize it into being. Gratitude is the gateway to success, all promising guaranteed transformation. The moment you miss a gratitude journal entry or skip your morning ritual, the code strikes back in your mind. Toxic positivity guilt shows up. I failed because I'm not positive enough. Or shame. I lack the discipline. And then relentless self-blame. We call these personalization. Interpreting every setback as a personal defect, which leads to should statements. I should always be improving, fueling perfectionism and anxiety. And this is one that I even have to carefully watch because I am improvement-centric. Then you meet the human agent Smiths of self-help, life coaches and gurus who fully internalize the improvement code. They run premium mastermind certification programs and retreats, policing any stray ideas that veer from their doctrine. Their brand ambassadors evangelize the latest method and enforce orthodoxy. Behind them, wellness apps ping you with reminders. Social media algorithms amplify curated before and after success stories, and targeted ads push the next bestseller or subscription plan. Every notification is a micro assault designed to keep you chasing the next breakthrough. To mute that inner turmoil, you double down on rituals. Gratitude journaling, morning affirmations, daily meditation. These routines become safety behaviors, not sources of clarity. They become temporary resets that soothe anxiety and reinforce the illusion of control. Question the dogma? Skip that retreat sign up. Drop the routine, and the enforcers respond with punitive tactics: expulsion from exclusive groups, loss of mentorship access, algorithmic burying. At the same time, they offer the next level upgrade: premium courses, VIP intensives, calibrated to reboot your compliance and keep the self-help code unchallenged. We've navigated 4 domains: religion, nationalism, consumerism, and self-help. And in each, we encounter the same 4-step architecture. Let's distill it into a single sequence. Number 1, the code. Invisible doctrines and rituals that define the rules of reality without question. Number 2, the internal effects of the code. The moment you challenge the code, you feel a neural backlash: fear, guilt, shame, and cognitive distortions like all or nothing thinking, mind reading, personalization, and catastrophizing. Number 3, the true agents and enforcers. Individuals who have fully surrendered to the code. Clergy, politicians, educators, executives, gurus, along with their institutional and algorithmic cohorts, mobilizing to quell any dissent. And number 4, safety behaviors. You revert to sanctioned rituals, prayers, pledges, impulse buys, gratitude journaling to reboot the system and silence the glitch. This cycle is the self-replicating loop of the matrix. Your debugger is simple but profound: awareness. Using your eyes to see, your ears to hear, and your mind to understand. By naming the distortions, questioning the code, and refusing the safety behaviors, you break the cycle and reclaim your agency from inside the system. Up to now, we've seen how superstition codes us and how agents enforce it. But why? What is this matrix extracting from us? And who truly profits? In every domain: religion, nationalism, consumerism, self-help, there's a clear economy: obedience, loyalty, data, dollars, and consent. Each ritual you perform, each belief you recite, each purchase you make powers the system. It's a resource extraction engine built on human behavior and belief. For millennia, rulers have weaponized distraction and ignorance to secure obedience. Roman emperors fed the masses bread and circuses. Modern media barons sell a 24/7 spectacle. Antonio Gramsci named this cultural hegemony, the subtle control of ideas until they feel like common sense. Across religion, nationalism, consumerism, and self-help dogma, there's an economy of psychic surplus value. Your attention, compliance, even your aspirations get harvested to reinforce hierarchies. Clergy traffic in moral authority, politicians in loyalty, corporations in desire, gurus in emotional labor. It's Marxist surplus value repurposed. The commodity isn't just labor, but your very beliefs. Who benefits? Not some shadow cabal, but the everyday architects of conformity. Institutional elites, political machines, corporate boards, media conglomerates, and even consumer behavior. They depend on you remaining divided, distracted, and too overwhelmed to see your collective strength. The goal is to reduce you to a non-playable character in your own life. And who suffers? The people who suffer are the ones who never realize their own capacity. Who truly suffers is every single one of us by being robbed of a world of true freedom in submission to the delusion of inadequacy. Those of us who continue to surrender our best years to monarchs, oligarchies, presidents, creeds, and conglomerates in neglect of our best selves. Those of us who continue to shrink to be accepted. It is humanity itself that is at stake. So where then is our Zion? It's not a hidden city somewhere beneath the desert. Zion is the community of the awakened, those bridge city thinkers and masterminds, those secular humanists and truth seekers, building real connection beyond superstition, grounded in agency and autonomy, those who seek to liberate our lives and our world from the rule of the few. And who is our Neo? It could be you, or any of us, or all of us who take that red pill, who questions the code, recognizes the extraction, and dares to rewrite reality. The truth of the matter is, we are all the one. And once we realize that, maybe, just maybe, we'll finally all be one. One people, one planet. You've seen the code, you've felt the agents closing in, the choice is yours. Remain a subroutine, an NPC, or take the red pill and learn to rewrite your reality. The end goal is to restore your agency and autonomy and cast off the need for conquerors, colonizers, and cop-outs. It's time for all of humanity to show up to the table of existence as one. If you're ready to dive deeper, head over to Windows Shop to get today's guide. Trust me, you're gonna wanna get this one. Also, consider joining our Patreon to support the channel and hang out with me in the community once a month. And don't forget to let us know where you're watching from in the comments. I have hubs of supporters growing all over the globe, and as I identify potential leaders in those areas, I'm working with them to start building local meetups and events. For example, we have more supporters in Southern California than we have in any other state in the US or region on the globe. And as of now, we have at least 3 people who've expressed interest in building something tangible in the area. So if you're interested in leading, building, or simply attending a local secular community that hosts conversations like these, head over to our Bridge City Weekends website and let us know. As usual, all links will be below in the description. And of course, thank you for hanging out with me today. Until next time, keep rising.